Gildan Media, a division of Recorded Books, presents 100 Ways to Boost Your Self-Confidence. Believe in yourself and others will too. By Barton Goldsmith, Ph.D. Narrated by Steve Menasche. Introduction. Confidence always lies somewhere within. A person grows whenever he or she thinks, contemplates, and dreams. Your ideas, reflections, and even random thoughts can build your self-confidence, but you have to be aware of them to get the full benefit. Research tells us that the human brain can think of 5 to 9 things at the same time. So it can be a bit challenging to isolate and identify the confidence-building thoughts from those that do you no good. Realizing that you have confidence within you, even if it has been hiding for a while, is the first step to reinforcing it. Deciding that you want to retain and focus on your self-confidence is the next one. By first finding it, you then have the ability to harness it. For many who live with doubt or are in challenging situations, believing that they are even capable of feeling confident can be difficult. I recommend that if you are feeling this way, you find some quiet reflection time to help you see that somewhere inside you lies a confident thought or two, and that is all you need to get to the next level. To get to this point, it can help to remember a time when you felt good about yourself and your life. Those are confident memories, and we all know that if you've done it before, you can do it again. Reflecting on past successes and allowing yourself to feel the positive emotions connected with them will help you create a greater ability to tap into your confidence, because you aren't just wishing and hoping. You are seeing that you really have been and can be a more self-confident person. Those little pieces of success, pride, and assurance are like seeds. If you plant them, give them a little sunlight and water, or in this case, some time and thought, you will begin to feel better about yourself and what you are doing. Even though this exercise doesn't involve lifting weights or even putting on your sneakers, it is a workout for your emotions. Initially, most people are a little reluctant, partially because it's unfamiliar territory, which always produces a touch of anxiety. Pushing through your discomfort and actually working on identifying where your confidence lies is a task that, when completed, you will be thankful you took on. Once you get in touch with the reality that you have the ability to believe in yourself, because you have had it before, your life will get a little easier and most likely a lot more fun. Confidence isn't about taking over the world. It is about enjoying your world as much as possible. It doesn't take much, and you do have it inside your heart and soul. So take a little time and look for it. I think you will be more than pleased with yourself by what you find. 1. 10 Instant Confidence Builders. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. Albert Einstein. When things get out of control and you momentarily lose your confidence, there are any number of little things you can do to regain it. Here are 10 tools to help you get started. 1. Wash your hands and face and brush your teeth. It cools your body, which is relaxing and gives you that fresh start feeling. 2. Look at any diploma or certificate of achievement you have. And if it isn't framed and on the wall, do it now. These are reminders of your accomplishments, and taking in your success is important to maintaining your confidence. 3. Remember your last or greatest success and think about it for 60 seconds. Taking in your success as often as possible will help you reach another and another, Quite simply, it reminds you that because you have done it before, you can do it again. 4. Give yourself a good shave, face or legs. It's another instant refresher, and in addition, when we know we are looking our best, we are naturally more confident. 5. Know you are the person your kids or other loved ones think you are. Knowing that you are unconditionally loved can't help but make you feel good about yourself. 6. Wash your car, inside and out. Hey, when our wheels are shiny, we feel better. If you don't think this applies to you, just remember how you felt the last time you got a ride in someone's very funky car. Race you to the car wash. 7. Put on clean socks and shoes you haven't worn in a few days. Shoes take a day or two to release any moisture they have absorbed, and this is a very easy way to put a little pep back into your step. 8. Organize your closet and get rid of anything that no longer fits. Old clothes may come back into style, but you really don't want them on hangers for the next 20 years. Throwing out the old makes room for the new. For some, the feeling they get from putting on a new power suit fills them with self-esteem. 9. Cook a lovely meal. Even if you are by yourself, preparing a tasty dinner, setting the table, and treating yourself to a wonderful culinary experience will lift your spirits. Sharing it with someone you love and/or respect will make it even more nurturing. And 10. Look around you. Remember that you started with nothing, and know that everything you see, you created. We can all lose our feelings of self-worth, especially when something goes wrong in our world. The real truth is that if you have done it before, you can do it again, no matter what. None of these tasks has to be uncomfortable and won't take you much time. Finding ways to give yourself a little boost when you're not feeling at the top of your game is a trick that truly confident people use on a regular basis. 2. Negativity kills confidence. I was always looking outside myself for strength and confidence, but it comes from within. It is there all the time. Anna Freud. Negative environments where people are harsh or even abusive to one another are toxic. No one tries to lift you or anyone else out of pain, and no one can find emotional or even physical comfort. That will lower your self-worth and perhaps even your will to live. This isn't about having the occasional bad day or moment. It's about living and/or working in an environment that brings or puts you down. When someone is constantly telling you that you're not good enough, eventually, if you stay around a while, you will start to believe it. Only 2 creatures on the planet, if you continually tell them they are bad, will take it in and believe it: dogs and humans. We have all seen dogs whose spirits have been broken. They walk around with their tails between their legs and their heads down. They get startled or scared very easily, and can react with fear aggression, barking or growling when they are frightened. The poor things never seem to feel safe and secure. They have lost their wag, and it's sad to see. People tend to react in similar ways when they are living with someone who puts them down on a regular basis, or they are working for a company that manages by intimidation. There is very little joy to be found here, and one's sense of self-confidence can be easily shattered. Most people in such places are unable to find the strength they need to battle the forces that are attacking them because they have simply run out of energy. The trick here is to step back far enough to get some perspective, and if the circumstances I described truly exist and counseling hasn't worked or is refused, the best move may be to just leave. I know that's drastic, but staying in a negative environment or relationship because you are afraid to leave is also known as battered persons syndrome, such as when abused women continue to go back to the home of their abusers. They do it because the devil they know is better than the one they don't, as they mistakenly think. They are returning to what is familiar. Confidence cannot exist within an aura of meanness. To find yourself and rebuild what has been taken from you, leaving a bad environment may be the answer. This requires a type of inner strength that some find in desperate moments, the strength that helps you believe in yourself, and to know that you do not deserve to be treated badly no matter what another person says. You have finally had enough, and you reach down to the depths of your soul and pull up whatever shreds of self-respect you can find. The feeling may only last for a few hours, but use that time to pack or write your resignation, because you will never be able to flourish where negativity and horrific behavior are allowed to run rampant. Once most people get out of a negative environment or relationship, one of the first things they do is castigate themselves by saying, "Why did it take me so long?" But that thought is totally self-defeating. It took as long as it took. Do not waste any more time feeling beat up. At this point, you may actually be used to it and not even see that you are doing it to yourself. As soon as you are aware you've changed the behavior, all you have to do next is whatever is in front of you. Leave the past and the old behaviors behind. Accept that you had the strength to change your life. It's okay to feel good about yourself. 3. Push through the upset. When you are going through hell, keep going. Winston Churchill. You had a great plan for the day ahead. You even went to bed early so you could wake up with a little more energy to put into your project du jour. But something happened. Somewhere in the night, upset struck your unconscious, or perhaps you got an early morning phone call or nudge, and a problem you had not anticipated occurred. So much for your best-laid plans. When the unexpected happens, we usually get a little anxious. Sometimes we totally freak out. Again, this is pretty human stuff. But the problem is that whenever most people get derailed, their confidence is shaken, and they can change direction or just get lost and have difficulty getting back on track. Here's an alternate way to keep your focus and move forward in the process. Instead of putting your project aside to deal with the problem that's getting your attention, take the time to do what you were going to do in the first place. By not allowing yourself to be thrown off course, you are keeping control. If you can sit down and complete your goal, despite your current and most likely momentary circumstances, you will build your self-confidence and you won't lose any ground. Being able to focus, even though you are stressed, and get the job done, gives you the knowledge that no matter what happens, you can avoid internal musings and excuses. Doing what needs to be done, regardless of temporary setbacks, will make you proud of yourself. It also produces a secondary positive outcome, which is a greater ability to focus on the problem that caused the upset, because you won't be thinking of what you haven't gotten done. You will also gain more clarity and maybe even some additional ideas of how to deal with your dilemma while finishing the work you had planned to do. Anytime you can use your unconscious to help you create some problem-solving skills, do it. We have all experienced getting better ideas once our minds are actually off a problem we are trying to solve. In addition, you may be able to channel your nervous energy into something much better. Just being frenetic and ignoring what you had planned to do doesn't help you or anyone else. But if those around you see that even though the world is going to hell in a handbasket, you can still get the job done, then everyone involved feels more confident about you. Sometimes putting out fires can be a way of avoiding what you really need to be doing. So make sure the emergency is real and you truly are needed before you put your priorities on the shelf. The truth is that you do have the ability to get your homework done and save the world. 4. A secret to happiness. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. Norman Vincent Peale. I asked Marcy Shimoff, author of the New York Times bestseller Happy for No Reason and featured teacher in The Secret, what she believed about how confidence and happiness are related and how, together, they can help us create a life worth living fully. Marcy says, I define true happiness as an inner state of peace and well-being regardless of circumstances. That's why I call it happy for no reason. When we experience that kind of inner happiness, we also have high self-esteem. We believe in ourselves and know that we are worthy regardless of our circumstances. That is true confidence. Developing the inner state of well-being will create confidence in all areas of your life. If you don't develop inner well-being, you may feel confident in one specific area of your life. Perhaps you're confident in your intelligence, but uncomfortable in many other areas. That is conditional confidence, and it will never bring you fulfillment. Marcy sees the process of developing greater confidence like building a muscle. It takes regular training, making a habit of doing the things that help you feel inner peace and well-being. Marcy also believes that it's important to listen to and learn from your inner guidance. She says, trust your intuition as your inner wisdom will guide you to your greatest success and happiness in life. Believe your wisdom and follow it. For many of us, trusting ourselves may be difficult because we have been habituated to look outside of ourselves for our answers. So it's best to start out with small decisions for which you are listening to your own guidance. Then every success that comes from your own guidance reinforces your belief in yourself. Marcy goes on to say, any day of the week I will put my faith in someone who has unconditional confidence. They are open and willing to learn whatever they need because they have a fundamental belief in themselves. Marcy's work has inspired millions of people to look within and not only find happiness, but along with it, a stronger sense of self and a greater enjoyment of life. And with that, you can live happily and confidently ever after. 5. Be patient with yourself. If you have confidence, you have patience. Confidence, that is everything. Eli Nastas. If you don't reach your goals the first time you try, don't see it as a failure. Remember that you have learned something and will do it better next time. The way to develop self-confidence is to know that no matter what happens, you will grow from the experience. It is easy to become impatient and frustrated, but just imagine what life would be like if Thomas Edison gave up trying to invent the electric light after failing thousands of times. He had lots of ideas and the patience to carry them out. When asked about the attempts that didn't work, Edison allegedly said something like, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Yes, as well as being patient, he was persistent, and the two do go together. One could say that you need to have the patience to be persistent, or vice versa. The real truth is that patience comes from a place of believing that you have the answers or trusting your ability enough that you know you will find them. That is the essence of self-confidence. Self-confidence doesn't come from sitting on your hands and waiting for something to happen. It is about throwing everything you have against the wall and waiting patiently for something to stick. Then you have to take the time to refine your projects. For many, that is the hardest part of the process. Great innovators can be very impatient when it comes to the implementation of their ideas. Remember that when you are being impatient with yourself, there is no one who can defend you. Our self-imposed deadlines really need to be changed to preferred timelines. If you miss a deadline, it unconsciously creates anxiety because a part of your brain actually feels as though you will die if the job doesn't get done. That also happens when a person doesn't give you what you think you want, when you think you need it. Your mind is really telling you that you may lose something very important to you, and that can cause some panic. When you are stressed in that way, getting anything done is more problematic. Practicing patience by forcing yourself to take your time can also be done by realizing how you react with people you are close to. If you are impatient with them, it is likely that you will be the same way with yourself, and that shows a lack of self-confidence. Learn how to be more patient with yourself when life gets in the way or requires more time than you budgeted by working harder on going with the flow. If you feel yourself starting to get antsy, take a patience pill by simply reminding yourself that Rome wasn't built in a day, and whatever you are involved in is worth the time you are investing. Patience may be a virtue, but it is also a necessity in achieving and living a self-confident life. 6. Be prepared. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. The fears are paper tigers. You can do anything you decide to do. You can act to change and control your life, and the process is its own reward. Amelia Earhart. You can't feel confident unless you know what you need to know. Get educated, learn, research, and never stop reading. Preparing, whether it is for a presentation or a date, will help you feel safe and allow you to show off your best assets. By making sure all your ducks are in a row, you can also plan for the unexpected more easily. Although you may not have brought every trick in the book with you, you probably read about them at some point. If you prepare, it makes the inevitable question you were afraid of easy to answer. No, you can't constantly be ready for everything life throws at you. But getting into the habit of preparing, you create a backlog of emotional building blocks you'll get to use later. Trust me on this one, please. There is no wasted effort here. Whatever you are preparing for today, even if you don't use it tomorrow, you will in the future. Preparing emotionally is as important as preparing mentally and physically. The best way I have found is to visualize, imagine in your mind's eye, what it is you're about to do. If it's taking a test, see yourself passing it. If it's giving a speech, see the audience nodding their heads and applauding, perhaps even laughing at your jokes. This technique is used to cure cancer, and I'm sure it can make you feel more self-confident. It will also help you to succeed at the task in front of you. Mental preparation requires that you are studied or have the ability to learn. There's an old joke about men never bothering to read instructions. That may have been the case before the technology revolution, but not these days. Life is way too complicated to not at least look at the manual before you try to hook up that new video game system. Doing common sense preparation, such as a mental or written checklist before you begin a project, old or new, is going to make you feel more confident about what you are about to take on. In addition, it will help you think of things you may have missed, and you won't be wondering what the leftover parts are for. Making a checklist might seem a little over the top if you are just going out to dinner and a movie, but it can be immensely helpful when you are doing something as simple as going to the market. I don't know how anyone can get through life without to-do lists. They may actually be our single greatest aid when it comes to getting things done and staying on track. If required, taking safety precautions is another great preparation technique. Carefully organizing your gear as you prepare to climb the Matterhorn in the Alps, you mentally practice using it. As you tee up your ball and look around to make sure you're not going to pulverize your boss with your Big Bertha driver, you are also preparing yourself to make a great shot by reducing your anxiety. Preparation is your friend, and not nearly as painful as you think it is. It is also a necessity when it comes to gaining greater self-confidence. 7. Recognition is more powerful than money. Wherever a man turns, he can find someone who needs him. Albert Schweitzer. Having a sphere of influence and providing a place where others can build their own self-confidence also gives you a better life. It is how we generate the future and make our own lives full. Everyone has baggage that keeps them from being the best they can. Your job is to check those bags for them, or at least make sure they are carry-on. It will help to bring out the best of that person because he will understand that he is not doing it all alone. He will feel much better about himself and your conversation, as well as your connection with him. Helping someone feel good about him or herself can be as simple as saying thanks. You would be surprised at how many people feel they go through their lives without recognition. A pat on the back, a handwritten thank you note, a small token of appreciation are just a few of the ways you can lift someone to a higher level without investing a ton of time and energy. When was the last time you thanked your loved ones for just being part of your life? Have you recognized the people you work with and help you make that part of your life as easy as possible? Then there are those whom we see only once in a while or in the digital age never see. How do you let them know you appreciate their participation in your world? I make sure to write personal notes when it's appropriate and fully acknowledge their contribution to what I do. I find that most people are pleased with the recognition, and I also feel good about myself for thinking about doing it and following through. It can only help to make your relationships, personal or business, better. Giving confidence through recognition comes back to you in many ways. Helping people feel better about themselves will foster good in every way, shape, and form. Give it a try. Your life and the lives of those you recognize will be better for it. 8. Embrace your fears. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Except a creature be part coward, it is not a compliment to say it is brave. Mark Twain. Logic would dictate that overcoming something that frightens you makes you stronger and more self-reliant. By embracing your fears, you are creating a much more efficient and practical way of dealing with them. You don't have to climb Mount Everest or jump out of a perfectly good airplane to move through your anxieties. Oftentimes, just dealing appropriately with the stress and worry of daily life can increase your self-confidence. One of my friends is a successful physician who says that he is scared every day, and he welcomes it because he truly believes it makes him a better doctor. He is more careful and doesn't take unnecessary chances with his patients. It drives him to be his very best and makes him a more confident practitioner. I was once told that faith is the opposite of fear, And whereas I see how having a belief in a higher power can make you feel safer, I also...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?